What's happening, y'all? We live.
Tonight on Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite, we got Mr. Johnny Richey coming back with part 4 of his 5-part web series based upon his upcoming book, The Creation of the Creator. So sit back, relax, and catch a contact of this info.
Man, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. And I am your host, Eddie Dynamite, and it's going down again. You know what I'm saying? We got Mr. Johnny with us. You know what I mean? About to do it again. But before we get to Mr. Johnny, that song that you heard on the intro, that was from my God Bless Moet. He actually going to do some Fed time on Monday. You know what I'm saying? So whenever we see a brother going down, we just gonna wish him much success, you know what I'm saying, peace and protection while he in there, you know what I'm saying, and getting his mind right before he come back. But that's his new song, I Ain't Scared. I'm gonna leave a link under the video, man, so y'all can check that out. You know what I'm saying? That's my bro. But most definitely, man, we back again. I got before we start, man, I decided to add a new segment to the show, man. Just a little black history sometime. Sometimes some things we know, some things we really don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanna just kick a little information whenever we can, because this show here is study and show yourself approved. That's what we all about. So without further ado, this first segment I'm gonna give you is actually from Credo Motwa. He was a chief Zulu priest, you know what I'm saying, and a healer, it's a heavy brother and an author. You know what I'm saying? Check this out.
Awaken the mother mind within every one of you human beings. Our people believe that every human being, male or female, has got two minds, the mother mind and the warrior mind. The warrior mind looks at things logical. The warrior mind says 2 plus 2 is 4. But the mother mind says nothing of that kind. The mother mind, I don't know how I can explain. The mother mind does not think in a line way as warriors do. The mother mind thinks sideways, and upwards and downwards. We must awaken the mother mind within us. We must feel what is going on in the world. We mustn't just listen to newspapers. We must ourselves feel. It is said by the Zulu people that women think with their pelvic area where children grow and are born. We must think that way. I must no longer look at a tree, but I must see a living entity like me in that thing. I must no longer look at a stone, but I must see the future lying dormant in that stone. What minerals are there? We must think like grandmothers. That's all.
And real talk, you know what I'm saying? Credo Motwa, Chief Zulu priest, author, David Icke, Lloyd Pye, a lot of the brothers that you hear, a lot of this metaphysical information, a lot of it came from him. He was awarded a medal from in South Africa for just holding the key to indigenous wisdom. Heavy brother, man. He died March 25th, 2020. You know what I'm saying? Much love. He's with the ancestors now. But without further ado, Mr. Johnny, what's shaking with you, my brother?
Oh man, I'm all right. I'm just contemplating on how to bring this Agartha and Shambhala
Yes,
to
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
brothers and sisters. Just
Yes.
as hopefully they ready for this particular podcast because we have a lot to say.
Most definitely.
And
And
it's
and
like
before we get started, I would also like to wish you a happy born date. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, Mr. Johnny just turned the big 7-2, you know what I'm talking about, in the supreme mathematics, you know what I'm saying? That's God wisdom. 7 plus 2 is 9. You know what I'm saying? That's born, you know what I'm saying? So he's born again with the information that he bringing, because we also constantly learning and constantly pushing. You know what I'm saying? So this year he got you gonna see more information come from him, more things being birthed from his mind that he gonna bring to forth. He's gonna be birthing more books, birthing more information for us. So he gonna leave this wisdom for us. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Everything is this math. You know what I mean? And we appreciate you, Mr. Johnny, and we love you, man. Happy born day to you again. You know what I'm
thank
saying?
you for that. Thank you.
We're getting we're getting into this hollow earth. Now, the hollow earth theory is old as human history, man, with stories and legends from every civilization on the planet, from extraterrestrials to ancient civilizations. These places have puzzled mankind for years. So, Mr. Johnny, take us from the top. First of all, how long have you been studying about Hollow Earth and Agartha and Shambhala and Hollow Earth?
I started in about 1982 when I met Dr. Yark up in New York, not him personally, but his disciples. And I remember going to 127th and Lex after I had saw them and met them about incense, about some tapes and stuff like that.
Right.
A friend and I went into one of the bookstores, 127th and Lexington in New York, and the first book I got was the Book of Barnabas.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I read this book, and it just inspired me. I had so much inspiration that I just wanted to know more and more and more and more.
Right.
So I ran into Shambhala and Agartha
Hmm.
during that time within a year or so after I started following um, Dr. Malachi Yard,
Right.
which he had a name that I care not to mention because I'll butcher it, but it was like five or six different types of names it was. So at that time, I was able to run into some of the literature of Agartha and
Right.
Shambhala.
Right.
At that particular time, remember, he had not did the holy tablets.
Mm, mm, mm.
So they wasn't out then. So
Right. Right.
I was getting other pamphlets and stuff from Dr. Malachi Yarn. And
Right.
so
Right.
me being in New York for 7 years and I was a Muslim for 24 years. So I was doing Farrakhan, Wallace D. Muhammad,
Hmm.
Imam, Wallace D.
Hmm.
Muhammad, and also Dr. Yark at the same time. So
Right. Right.
I was studying, man. I was juggling just like three. I had three balls in there, and I was catching one, putting the other one in. That's how I came into the I would say the knowledge and understanding of how to start mathematically putting these subjects together. It was
Right.
wasn't really difficult. It
Mm.
came with ease, but a lot of things back then I didn't know now. Now I would say if I know back then what I know now, I would be. I wish I was as smart. The Farrakhan, Imam Muhammad, and Dr. Malachi Yardim is some very intelligent brothers, and
Most definitely.
they took us a long way in this struggle that we've been struggling to just have peace of mind.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I know you sent me a video before you get started. Do you want me to play that before you start getting into your presentation?
Yeah, just give them a little bit of it, and that way that they can see where we're gonna go from there.
Okay. It's only 4 minutes, so I'll run it. You know what I'm saying? I'll let them run it, and I'll
Yeah,
let you take it from there.
Okay, thanks.
Thousands of years ago, on this planet we call Earth, our planet was visited by various groups of extraterrestrial humanoid beings. These extraterrestrial humanoid beings had to leave their planet, and seek refuge here on Earth because their home planet had been destroyed by evil. When these extraterrestrial humanoid beings arrived on Earth, they chose to take residence inside the center of the Earth, because the surface of the Earth was inhabited by human beings. At this point in time in Earth's history, the human beings who lived on the surface of the Earth were all of one tribe, the Ebenoid tribe. Since they live inside the Earth, these extraterrestrial beings have now become interterrestrial beings. The center of the Earth where these interterrestrial beings reside also contains an inner sun. The inner Earth has been called by a variety of names by cultures around the world, including Shambhala by Buddhist, Agartha by Tibetans, Kurnuji by the ancient Mesopotamians, the Duat or Aminta by the ancient Egyptians, Hades or the underworld by Europeans, Xibalba by the Mayans, and in modern times, the concept of the inner Earth has given rise to what is called the hollow Earth theory. Unbeknownst to many human beings, the activities of these beings which reside inside the Earth has affected the course of human history and human development. The first and most noble of the beings which resides inside the Earth is called the Shayuk. Compared to human beings, the Shayuk would be considered geniuses with exceptional intelligence, and telepathic and telekinetic abilities. The Shayuk have a dark brown skin complexion, they are between 5 feet to 7 feet tall, and their heads, brains, and cranial capacity is much wider and larger than the average human. The Shayuk come to the Earth's surface occasionally to teach and to trade with certain tribes of human beings. The teachings of the Shayuk are so profound that when they come to the Earth's surface to teach, they are often called deities, gods, priests, prophets, messengers, and seers, and because of this fact, the Shayuk have strict laws which limit the interaction of Shayuk tribal members' contact with the humans on the surface. The Shayuk commonly interact and have mixed in with the surface world humans called the Danakil or Danakil, also known as the Afar people, in present-day Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Somalia. The chief of the Shayuk is named King Fukur, and his daughter is named Princess Radiya, and two of his brothers are named Amo and Yishak, who has always been jealous of his brother King Fukur. King Fukur's brother Amo had fallen in love with a surface-dwelling human female, and he would sneak to the surface world to visit her, and would also pass himself off to the surface-dwelling humans as a psychic and a magician, and for these acts, Amo was exiled to live on the surface, 20 miles outside of the present-day city of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. As long as the people in the inner earth spent most of their life in the inner earth, then they will not die. However, to be exiled to the surface world means a person from inner earth will eventually die like the mortals on the surface. In the caverns adjacent to the Shayuk, resides another group of nobles called the Sinin. The Sinin are also highly intelligent, but also have a fighting spirit. The Sinin are between 5 feet to 7 feet tall and have a variety of complexions from yellow to brown, and they are hairless and are most noted for their cone-shaped heads. The Sinin commonly interact and have mixed with surface world humans including the ancient Egyptians, the Olmecs in present-day Central America, the Mangitub people in the African Congo, and the Paracas people in Peru. The chief of the Sinin is named King Lamsa, and his daughter is named Princess Lucina, and his son is named Prince Atif. One of the wretched group of beings which resides inside the earth is called the Samin. The Samin are grotesquely obese, pale, with long elephant-like noses, and are very negative and aggressive. The Samin were actually the manifested evil grafted out of the Sinin on their home world prior to these beings arriving on earth. Since the Samin were grafted out of the Sinin, it is the responsibility of the Sinin to police and keep in check the evil activities of the Samin. It is said that an American named Richard Sharpshaver encountered the Sinin and called them the Turos, meaning interrogative robot, and he also encountered the Samin and called them Duros, meaning detrimental robot. One day, the wretched Samin raided and invaded the village of the Shayuk, stealing food and terrorizing the Shayuk family. When King Fukur found out about this invasion by the Samin, he sent a telepathic message to King Lamsa stating that the Sinin has neglected their responsibility to keep the Samin in check, because the Samin were currently raiding and invading the village of the Shayuk. Upon receiving the telepathic message from King Fukur, King Lamsa went with his brethren to the caverns of the Shayuk to stop the invasion by the Samin and to drive the Samin back to whence they came.
Heavy. Heavy.
Yeah,
Heavy.
that's very interesting.
Very interesting, Mr. Johnny. So, Mr.
Yeah,
Johnny, so break this video down, man. Tell us about Agartha, man. Take us there, man. We want to know.
well, during that time, there was a lot of collective wars the Dracons,
Mhm.
uh, different Anunnakis, and then you had your Andromeans.
Right.
They were at war during that time. It's in the book by Dr. Malachi Yarn. Say I was
Mm.
there, which is now,
Okay.
and that's
Okay.
a very important book that people should get and
I was
read.
there, which is now. Okay.
Yeah, and that was doing um I would say during the 25,000 year cycle. Some say
Mm.
24 and a half, 25,000 year cycle.
Right. Right.
That
Right.
was doing the war during the 6,000 year cycle, which
Mm.
would give us almost 18,000 years ago.
Mm.
During that cycle, this is when the galactic war had started. And this is when a lot of refugees from different galaxies, Syria, A, B, and C, Orion, that they came to Earth, but they didn't want to deal with the humans, so they went
Right.
underground. And
Mm.
this is how not Agartha or Shambhala started, because it's been there before they got there. It was already there. Were
Mm.
there beings there? It's questionable. We can go back into history and look at some of the beings that are in Agartha, but
Right.
they're not telling you how long those beings been down there. We know it's been millions of years, but we
Mm.
don't know if it's 15, 20, 30 million.
Right. Right.
But at the
Right.
same time, we do know that Earth is billions of years old, not
Yes, sir. Yes,
millions.
sir.
We do
Yes,
know
sir.
that the galaxy that they say, or the universe, is in our Milky Way. That universe that created our Milky Way is 14 billion years old, and all
Right.
of this
Mhm.
numbers of not, I don't call nonsense, but I call it an educated guess.
Of course. Of
So
course.
during those wars, they had went down there because the humans were here, as you heard on the video, that they did not want to deal with the humans, so they went
Mm.
underground. And they want
Right.
to
Right.
mix at that particular time
Hmm.
because these beings were very advanced beings.
So before you get into that, when you about two shows ago, when you were telling us about when the Anunnaki came and they ran across the humanoids, did the Anunnaki run across these same people?
The Anunnakis knew that they were there.
Mm,
The
mm,
Anunnakis knew the history of Earth.
right.
When they came here to try to
Mm,
save their planet, they knew that Agartha and Shambolic was there, because when they were searching for the golds and stuff, they
right,
did
right.
run into these beings, but they left these beings alone because
Mm.
they knew that the technology of these beings was just as powerful as their technology.
Oh
and
wow.
they
Okay.
and they had just had a war. Remember, they had
Right,
just
right.
had a war that I just explained during the
Hmm.
6,000 years of the 24,000. On I was there, which
Yes,
is
sir.
now by Dr. Malachi Yard. So they
Right.
knew that those beings were down there. They dared not go down there tampering with those beings.
Mm, mm. So those
It's,
beings were that more powerful than they were?
I don't think, as far as being more powerful, it's just like if I approach you
Right.
and
Okay.
we on the streets, you got a glot
Hmm.
and I got a glot.
Right, right.
What's gonna happen?
Mhm.
If we shoot each other at the same time, we both dead.
We both did, right. But we
So
using the
it,
same type of
because
weapons to
cause
fight
we
what you
got
mean.
this,
Right,
we have the same weapon. It's just like if
right.
I approach you with a machine gun and you got a machine gun, who gonna
Makes
win?
sense. Right.
So that's kind of what the Anunnakis was when they came here, and they
Right,
knew
right.
that they knew that those beings was down there, and they knew that they could not manipulate those beings the way that they manipulated the Homo erectus and the Homo sapien.
Correct,
So,
correct.
so
Okay.
they had to tamper with what was on top of the earth and not was down there in Agartha and Shambhala.
Damn. Real shit though.
Yeah,
Mm,
they knew
mm,
not to mess with them.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
because they was refugees from wars
Right.
in
Okay.
our solar system, in the solar system of Canis Minor,
Hmm.
uh, and Orion and Syria. They were
Right.
fighting all up through those particular um, um, systems of constellations and galaxies.
Right. Right.
There, it was a big war, bro. You had about 8 or 9 different species during that
Mm.
time that were fighting, and it
Right.
was
Right.
all about not being able. You had negative and positive beings. So when you put antimatter and matter together, it's just like
Hmm.
trying to put two magnums together. They just gonna repel one another, and
Just
that's what
repel,
they
man.
were. And that's exactly what was going on with the wars.
Mm, mm,
Yeah.
mm. Heavy, heavy. So how much longer were these beings here before the Anunnaki arrived, and when they were on their quest to save their planet? How much longer were the beings in Shambhala? How long were they here before that happened?
Well, yeah, well, you have to remember, uh, doing 25,000 cycles.
Hmm.
I mean, you can go back to 15, 25,000 year cycles. The
Right, right.
Anunnaki is supposed to have arrived here 500,000 years ago. Earth
Mm.
cycles are 24 to 25,000 years in cycles.
Okay,
And
okay.
when you're dealing with those particular cycles, you have to go into 10 to 15,
Hmm.
25,000 year cycles of Earth. The
Right.
arrival of the Anunnaki was something like in the neighborhood of, I would say, 20 cycles
Right.
of Earth of the 25,000 year cycles,
Hmm.
because 10 would be 250,000 cycles and
Yeah.
20 would be 500,000 years of cycles. See, all of this is being mixed up
Mm.
by the Europeans and those who, and also the Anunnakis. And Ninasan is one of the Anunnakis that made sure that we would not understand some of the past history of Earth, because his job was deception.
Right.
And
Right.
we'll do a thing on Ninasan and Enki and Enel and
Okay.
how
Okay.
the division was in another podcast. But at the
I would
same
love that.
time,
I would love
yeah,
that.
yeah, we have to understand the cycles and what periods of these cycles that certain things happen in those periods.
Right. Correct. Correct. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that goes that's when I always say study and show yourself approved. You have to be ready for that type of information. You just can't come in on the podcast and think that you're going to understand, because things will sound kind of crazy to you, and
Right.
things will sound like, how do they know, and what are they talking about?
Right. Right.
um, so we have to be careful on who we uh, give this information to,
Right.
and we have to do it in sections and in segments, because people have not studied to be uh, in their awareness and that they're conscious of this type of information.
Right. Right.
It may not filter. They may not um, resonate to this particular these types of subjects.
Right, right. Hey, we gonna get to them though. We gonna get to them raw, because they gonna learn something tonight. You best believe that, because you already dropping jewels, Mr. Johnny. So, Mr. Johnny, take us back to, uh, um, I heard of, me and you were talking about on the before I even get into that. Let's get into some of these details of Shambhala and Agartha, because a lot of things that you chopped it up to me were talking about were definitely fascinating. I think the people really will find fascinating. So there's a sun that's in the center of the earth, right?
Yes, it
Right.
is. Hmm.
Mm.
And
So this sun,
there's a long story behind that.
give a
On
give
how
us a brief. Can you give us a brief? Please give us a show and give us a brief about that.
Well, what happened was when the planet Nabru was coming through the solar system, our solar
Mhm.
system. What happened when they have bumped into a couple of planets? One of the planets I
Right.
can show you on the map.
Hmm.
We'll get into that later on today,
Okay. Okay.
and
Okay.
they also had um, bumped into um, planet Ga,
Mm.
which is Earth, or
Okay.
Tiamat, and all of these different names that they have for planet Earth.
Yes, sir.
And when they bumped into it, and it threw it off of his course, so they had to bring it back with their beams.
Mm.
And the beams that they brought it back to, there was a piece of Earth, a giant piece that they had to do something with. So what they did was, when they laser beam guided this into to try and put it back together, it ended
Hmm.
up going into the center of the earth. And this sun that they call in Shambhala and Agartha is nothing but from the heat of this laser beam that Nabru was
Mm.
correcting, and it ended up being the sun.
So this is not even like a sun like ours. It's almost an artificial sun.
It's basically artificial, but they
Mm.
made sure that the hydrogen and, everything that this sun that we have on the top of the earth, that
Right.
it did the same thing doing the center. They had this, believe it or not, the sun that's in the center of the earth is what hold earths together to keep it
Mm.
from exploding.
Mm. Mm.
It's even deeper than that. I did some study on that, but
Right.
I'm not um, a physics teacher.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't claim to be, but I do know what happened doing those travels on the brew coming into different galaxies, how it
Right.
destroyed other planets and stuff like that. Remember, we was also speaking about the War of the Gods and
Right.
how the Anunnakis named themselves after Tiamat and Aspen and all of them. Those were
Hmm.
doing the fitting and the making of different galaxies and the making of those solar systems,
Mm.
and
Mm.
how they were not exactly in their own orbits and they would clash.
Right. Right.
That's called the
Mm.
War of the Gods. But
Mm.
these planets have names after these Anunnakis.
Mm.
So, and a lot of people think that when they're listening to these stories from the Illuminati list, bringing forth of day and night, which is they call the Book of the Dead,
Right. Right.
the Baba Jesus,
Hmm.
and these that tells you about these wars, they were not individual human beings, they were planets
Mm. Mm.
that was
Oh
going
wow.
into their own orbit.
Oh wow.
And sometimes when they to fit to fit into your orbit, you, you're out of your orbit, you're outside of your orbit, so you
Hmm.
might wreck over here, go over here. It's like a car out of control.
Mm.
But when they stabilize themselves with the steering, they stay there,
Right.
and then they got they orbit down, and it's kind of I'm not going to try to pretend that some type of physics or that I'm in um, some type of quantum physics arena. I'm not going to play that, but I'm going to tell you straight up, it's just like any anything else that is not stable.
Hmm.
It's going to move until it becomes stable, and this
Right.
is what the War of the Gods was about.
Hey,
And
you
it's
may
so
not be a you may not be a physics teacher, but you are a master teacher. I tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So Mr. Johnny, does it get as hot as our sun?
that I'm not gonna I don't know the degrees of this
Hmm.
particular sun. I don't
Right,
even know the degrees of the sun that's out there.
right,
All I
right,
know
right.
that the planets evolve around this, that sun.
Hmm.
There's no planets that's evolving around the center sun in the Earth,
Right, of course, of
because
course.
that's inside the Earth, and our Earth evolves around that particular planet and that.
Right.
And that particular our particular planet at 1000 1000 and one third 37 and 1000 miles per hour, it evolves
Mm,
around our sun. Well, that's our spin as
mm,
it spins
mhm.
around the sun, which makes me know that we're on a spaceship.
Yeah. Mm,
And that
mm,
Earth is a ship
mm, mm.
because it's already spinning at 1,337 and one third miles per hour. And as it
We're
spins,
revolving both ways. We're spinning, we're revolving this way and revolving that way.
and
Right.
they moving
Mm, mm,
20,000 miles per hour around Earth. And I
mm.
mean, around the
Yeah.
sun,
Around
excuse
the
me,
sun. Right, right.
around the sun. And then
Mm,
you have a system, our system moves around another system every
mm, mm,
25,000 years. And that system, every 25,000 years, we move around another system every 50 to 100,000 years.
mm,
And
mm.
it's an infinity thing.
Right, right,
It's a
right.
constant movement. But the center of the Earth's sun, I'm pretty sure it sustains them, else they
Mm.
couldn't be there.
Okay.
So it's just like our sun sustains us, else we wouldn't
Sustains
be
us.
here.
Right, definitely.
So above, so
Up
below.
above.
So hmm
So my next question, Mr. Johnny, going back to the conversation that me and you had prior to the live, um, I know you were telling me about a guy in the military named Admiral Byrd, who you
hmm
said flew down to Antarctica on this mission, this mission high jump or whatever the name of the mission was, took a bunch of people with him, and he actually went into the hollow earth and met some people. Can you
he
tell us
saw,
about that?
yeah, he saw opening, and when he saw the opening, he just started flying inside of the
Mm,
opening, and he was met by 2 to 3 ships
mm,
that cut everything off and landed his plane. And
mm,
he had met some of the brothers and sisters, and I call them
right.
brothers and sisters because they are dark skinned people down there, yellow,
Mm, mm-hmm,
brown, black. And after he had met them, they allowed him to leave when he came back and tried to share his experience down there in Agartha.
mm-hmm,
They zipped his lips. They said, "No,
right.
you can't speak on this."
Mm,
And so it Admiral Byrd was just a trigger of that Agartha and Shambhala exists. But of course, the brothers and sisters in the Himalayas and the Mayas,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
they all knew about Agartha and
right.
Shambhala. They knew
Mm-hmm,
before it was that awakening spirit. And
right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
during Admiral Byrd's time,
Right.
Shambhala and Agartha is in the Hindu religion.
Mm,
Shiva, Hare Krishna.
mm,
They supposed to have cities down there, so they all knew about Agartha. If you want to know where they came from and where they
right.
were during the missing periods of the time when before they showed up to teach the people, that's where they
Mm-hmm,
were in Agartha.
right.
They were in
Right.
Shambhala.
Mm. And I know
Hmm.
what you're saying to be so because I looked up some things, and in 1959, a guy named Ray Palmer, he had a magazine called Fly Saucer Magazine, and he tried to publish Admiral Byrd's diary because Admiral Byrd put out a diary with the things that he saw, and they said only to have his magazines, the printing plates, and his delivery manifest confiscated by the U.S. government, which I found was really wild. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
well, you have a lot of people that was in the government
Right.
that was under oath
Mm.
to swear to be loyal to the
Right.
government and such and such and such and such, and these people tried to defect.
Mm.
Say, hey,
Mm.
that the world got to know the truth.
Right.
They
Most
got to they
definitely.
got to know, and they
Yeah.
killed them, or they
Damn.
they set them up.
Set him
And
up right.
this is how all governments are loyal to
Mm-hmm.
these beings that came on top of the earth, called
Mm.
Anunnakis, and have spreaded their information and their rules
Mm-hmm.
and their curriculum out through uh, on top of the earth, who are
Right.
called, like we've been mentioning before, um, the conquistadors.
Right. Right.
These are
Right.
these are your principalities. We get back to principalities.
Yes, sir.
Principalities have a lot to do with genetics. It got
Mm-hmm.
to it's the last subject that we had, that I told them that the principalities are flesh and blood.
Yes, sir.
These are beings. These are not spirits.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with when people trying to tell the truth. These are these principalities that have put these in an arena of what we call secret societies,
Right. Of course.
to where
Of
that you
course.
can only let out so much information, and they got the sword, we chop your head off. If you speak on this is a
Right. Right.
a hush hush thing.
Hush. Right. Right.
So Admiral Byrd was in the same situation as William Cooper, Behold a Pale Horse.
Mm-hmm.
You put
Mm-hmm.
this information out, you die.
He's gonna die. Right. Right.
Admiral
Right.
Byrd lived, I think, a little life
Yeah,
beyond.
he lived a long life. He ended up getting buried, but like you said, that don't mean shit. Was it Admiral Byrd? It could have been a clone. Shit.
Yeah, they could
You
have
know what I'm
killed him
saying?
a long time ago
Right.
because he
Right.
knew too much.
Right.
They
Most
don't know what
definitely.
he was going to say.
Yeah.
He
Most
could have told
definitely.
his wife, and his wife
Exactly.
could have told the kids, and now there's another leak, and they're going to make
Right.
sure that they're going to make sure that things are not leaked out,
Of
because this
course.
this this um this beast that's acting like a human do not want
Mm-hmm.
you to know the truth. And this beast
Mm-hmm.
don't know no better, because he's
Right.
behind the Anunnakis
Yes.
and the conquistadors, who are the children of the Anunnakis, and they're part of the 200 fallen angels. That's another subject.
Right.
But to put this all in a whole, that Admiral Byrd kind of sparked it when he
Mm-hmm.
went in there, and then they had to leak it because there was too much talk during that time. And
Right.
they said,
Right.
well, hell, what if he ended up in the center of the earth, and there's people down there, there's beings down there, yeah, and that's what triggered it.
Yeah. That's right.
But they
Right.
have
Right.
they had been there. They've been there, man, for hundreds of thousands of years. Like I said, during the galactic wars and stuff, they were refugees from wars and stuff, and they came down here. They don't want to deal with the humans up here. So you have to ask yourself, if that's the case, then when did these wars jump? And if they didn't want to deal with the humans, and I already told you 18,000 years during some of the period of time, like I said, Dr. Malachi Yar spoke on the,
Right.
the different wars on 8 to 10 different species were warring, and everybody were refugees. Some went to Orion, some went to Syria, A, B, and C. Some came to Earth, some went to Mars, some went to Venus, and all of these different refugees, like they said, they don't want to deal with the people on top of the earth. They wanted to
Hmm.
deal with the people. They wanted to go down there and make their own cities and stuff like that. So you have to
Right.
understand that what really happened at these particular time locks.
Hmm.
And Dr. York is just telling us on a certain time that these species uh, was going down there, but they had been doing this because there never has not been, as far as we can calculate, an galactic war. They've
Right.
been happening for millions and millions of years, and these
Mm.
refugees is going somewhere.
Hmm. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's
So
right.
how long they been down there?
Hmm.
Before that six thousand year period of the 25,000 year cycle. I mean,
Well,
these
well,
cycles.
not
Hmm.
to cut you off, getting to that just made me think about this next question, um, because you was I mean, just ain't even responding to what you said about with Admiral Byrd, because the government has instituted a no-fly zone over the polar region. So you
That's
wonder
right.
why is that? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
you telling the truth. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So my thing is this. So with these beings and they're being refugees, in all of these years, in all these millions and billions of years has gone by. Maybe you can't go back to your particular planet, but maybe you do want to leave hollow earth and come to the surface. Are they allowed to interact with surface beings? How does that work with it?
Well, yeah, they are allowed. What they do, they send their teachers up to
Hmm.
uh, to continue to help the the people
Right.
evolution and to
Hmm.
evolve. Remember, I had told you to get the book, and you went and got it. It's called The Prism of Lyra.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sure
And
did.
the prism of Lyra is where the beginning of the galactic wars start during the reptilians when they start attacking the felines because the reptilians was um, just negative beings,
That's right.
and
That's right.
you had positive ones. I have pictures. I don't know if I can grab them. It might I might be able to of these particular reptilians. You have different species of these reptilians, and
Mm.
some of the ones, like I've said before, the royal ones are the ones with the wings.
Right. Right.
And then you have the ones standing 15, 16, 18 feet tall. Then you
Right.
have the ones that are just 6, 7, 8 feet tall. And it's the
Can
same thing.
can you pull up some of them slides? Is it a way you can put can you pull up some of those? Go into your slides, go into present, and then go
I,
into your slides.
I would have to look into the holy tablets to show you.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't want to. I had the pages written down
Right.
like on page 290 to on the holy tablets to 329, and when I try to bring up the holy tablet, it was already up there. I have a Gaza right there. Can you see it?
Okay. Let me pull up Agartha form so they can see Agartha. You can break that down. Okay. All right. Yeah, we can see it. We can see it now.
Okay, can you see it? Okay,
Yeah, we
so
can see Agartha.
you can see right here, 1947 Admiral Byrd. You see that
Mm.
right there at the top,
Yes. Yes, sir.
and then you got the some more highlights on how I tell you that it's 200 miles down over this way. Then you got Kentucky that has little cabins. Then over here to the right,
Mm.
you have where they tested the atom bomb right here, and it's back to Earth, and it says through the center of the ship. So that's letting you know how it was affecting them during this time. Then you got another place where you can go through Mount Epamo in Italy. Then you got the
Mm.
pyramid of the Giza,
Right. Oh, wow. Right in Egypt. Right.
Yeah, let me
Wow.
show you. Let me keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have what they call uh, the land of uh, I can't pronounce that, but it says race at the end. And then you
Mm-hmm.
got the center sun here. And then you got the city of Shambhala. Now you remember
Let me
Agartha.
let me let me try to bring this back up because it's doing a little shaking. So I want you to
Okay,
you can get what you need. Okay, we good now.
okay,
Okay.
okay. Can you see it? Now
Yeah, we
you
good
have
now. Yeah.
okay. You have Shambhala right here. Agartha is the whole of the center earth. But Shambhala,
Ah,
you see what I'm saying? Shambhala
Shambhala
now
is a city inside of Agartha.
it's like it's like the capital.
Wow. Okay.
It's like the
Okay.
capital. Then you got your cabins here in the cities, the semi-advanced races, and then over here you got man-made tunnels where they was trying to get up in there, and and uh, and then you even got the oceans on leaving
Mm-hmm.
to Agartha. Then
Right.
you got the mountains on the high ranges on the outside that leads to Agartha. Then you got a spaceship base that's right there,
Mm. A
and
base.
a base. Here it is, right here.
Wow.
Can you see? Can you see one moving?
I see. Yeah, I see the base. So this base. Who's based out of this base? Which of these is species are using this base?
It's many species that it's just like being in New York and going to a car lot and
Right.
you get a Jeep, you get a Lexus, you get a Cadillac. It's the same thing. They down here in this base is where they go to different galaxies, going back to their hometowns where they
Mm.
were refugees is from.
So they do leave and they go back and
They
forth.
they leave and they come back and forth, and then you have the mountain over here. Um, this is another high range on the outside. So they're
Mm-hmm.
showing you that there's outside places, and it's called the center of gravity, which is 400 miles down.
Mm.
I'm talking about
Mm.
400 miles down, and then so when you start dealing with uh, uh, this some of these Rainbow City of Ice. That's where your
Right.
crystal palaces and stuff are. Then you got another place over in Brazil where you can get into here too.
Mm.
It's the Brazil something falls.
Mm.
They showing you the different locations from Earth on how you can get into the center of the Earth.
Right. Right.
And then right here, they show you the center sign. And they show you the cities that's around it and all of that. So
So,
it's
Mr.
it's
Johnny,
it's, it's
can you is it a way you can pull up that slide that you showed me earlier with the with all the species on it? Is a way you can pull that up for me?
yeah.
If
Let
you can
me
pull
let,
that up for me, because I really want them
yeah
to see that, man.
yeah. Let me get that a shot. Okay, hold on. Let me get out of here.
Yeah.
I done came all the way out, bro. Let me get back in.
Yeah, yeah. Come up again. We see you, but you can't see us. Let us know if you can see us.
Okay,
You back?
not yet. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm
Yeah, do
coming
your
back.
thing. Yeah, do your
I'm coming back now.
thing.
Okay. Um. Okay, I'm gonna even do better than that. I'm gonna come back through. Um, hold on.
Yeah, take your
Let me
time. Take your time,
yeah,
sir.
okay. Let me come back through the email. It'll pop me right back up. Here we go. Now I'll come back through this way.
Okay.
Okay. So let me go to present here.
Mm-hmm.
Go to slides
Yeah.
and
Click on that and pull it up so I can add it to the stage. Just click on it. Click on the
okay.
one that you got with the
Oh, I see what it did. Here come.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know if it's this
It should come out. I gotta click it 2 times, not once.
one. Okay.
Can you see something now? Okay, we're gonna get that. I had it already set up, but somehow it just disappeared off of my slide that I was trying to do. Let me go here. Okay, I know how to get to it. Let me go here. Um, okay, I'll find it real quick here. Okay. Hmm,
I think you just got to go to present, um, and then you hit slide, and then you just click on the actual slide, and it should pop up and tell me I can add it to the
okay. I
stage.
went to present, and
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna do
Go to
this here. I'm gonna
slides.
go, and then I'm gonna go to your computer. Then I'm gonna upload because it should be already there.
No, you shouldn't have to upload it because you already got it uploaded. You should just have to go to slides, click on the slide, click on the slide, one of those slides that's in that box on the side, whatever slide that's already set up, and
Okay.
then you should add it.
Okay. Let me try that. Okay, let me get at a shot.
Hmm.
Okay. So here's present,
Go to slides.
and it's just this. Okay. So it's okay. Now open document. For some weird reason, uh, it did disappear on me. Um,
Oh, wait, don't worry about it, Mr. Johnny. You know what I'm saying? We keep on with
okay.
the lecture. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to get off your train
Okay.
of thought. I just thought it was something good that you could share with them.
Mhm. Um, I know how to bring it up. It just let me
Let me see if
remove
maybe you can go to
these.
yeah, remove those, and maybe if you can go to your computer and maybe add it back to there. Take your
Exactly.
time. I mean, we with you. Take your time.
Okay, I'm gonna go to desktop. Here's I don't know why it says okay. Here's one of the beans right here. Can you see that?
No, it didn't pop up.
It didn't pop up. Okay.
No.
Wow. Um. Okay. Let me get out of there. Let me go to. Okay, I'm trying to. Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you.
Okay, I'm gonna go to documents. That's go to show files. It should be up under there.
Yeah, but you gotta link it to the system, or I'm not gonna be able to see it. I can't see what you're doing right now.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't see what you're doing. But don't worry about it, Mr. Johnny. I said we don't want to take too much time with that. You know what I'm saying? It's cool.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
It's cool. It's cool.
Okay,
It's
let
cool.
me get back.
Sometimes that go down. You know what I'm saying? It's technical
Yeah,
difficulties. Sometimes it goes down like
yeah.
that.
That's what it is right now.
It's all good.
Um,
Well, let's get back to the lesson. Can you
hmm
tell us anything about the Atlanteans and the Lemurians?
uh, well, I was listening to some of the shows about Atlantean and the Sumerians and well, the Sumerians and the Atlanteans.
The Lemurians.
Exactly, they're basically it's just like just dealing with capitals of different states and
Right.
little cities and towns during that time because Lemurian
Hmm.
um, it's a part of Atlanta. And Atlanteans are the ones that are buried, some of it under the 2 and 3 mile icebergs in the Antarctica.
Right.
Um, I'm gonna have to run to the restroom real quick.
Yeah, do
Can
your
I?
thing, Mr.
Can I
Johnny.
take?
Yeah,
Let
yeah,
me
yeah.
take a break.
Yeah, yeah, take
I'll
a
be
break. Do
right
your
back.
thing. Yeah, while we waiting on Mr. Johnny to come back, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this is heavy tonight. It's going down. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Stay connected. You know what I'm saying? Stay watching. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody. I got a lot of good shows coming up real soon. You know what I'm saying? I got my guy, Ambassador Ron. You know what I'm saying? Spitting some real game. You know what I'm saying? Real gentleman of leisure. Always shout out to Ambassador Ron, man. He been giving me some love. We've been missing each other back and forth, but hopefully I can get him on the show real soon, man. Mr. John, hey, listen, Ambassador Ron is a heavy dude. You know what I'm saying? Definitely full of a scientist of game is what he called himself. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't lying. It's real. It's real deal. He got a volume of videos online. You need to check him out and go to his channel. You know what I'm saying? Ambassador Ron. Like, share, subscribe, give him some love. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a good brother. You know what I'm saying? My brother, I got another show coming up with my brother Saya Mincat, and he can be talking about um astral traveling, you know what I'm saying? Cosmic planes, you know what I'm saying? He's a well traveled brother who's been a lot of places, man. You know, he's been I'm talking about pretty much all over the world. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with shamans, what you would call a witch doctor. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with all types of different spiritual cultures. So he gonna come in and chop up some game with us, man. You know what I'm saying? And we got just a lot more black pack for you. You know what I'm saying? You know, we coming from all aspects. It's underneath the city lights with Eddie Dynamite. Underneath them city lights, we talk about everything. It ain't just this, it ain't just that. We talk about everything. And we glad to have y'all here, man. I appreciate everybody, man, that's been showing us love so far because it's real. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if Mr. Johnny then got back. He's still like, yeah, like he about to come back right now. I'm gonna bring Mr. Johnny back on. Hold on for a second, y'all. Mr. Johnny, let me see. Let me get you on mode. Got you still mute. Mr. Johnny.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
so
here. I apologize for
okay.
that.
Man, nah, you good, Mr. Johnny. You're a human being. That's how I get
Yeah,
down. It's live, baby. That's how we
yeah.
do. So, Mr. Johnny, do you I read something about these Nazis with Hitler dealing with the Hollow Earth. Do you know anything about that?
Well, that's where Hitler got some of his technology from. I don't know if it was
Oh
just
wow.
directly through Admiral Byrd during that time, but if you understand that Atlantean was right in that area in the
Hmm.
Antarctic. That's the reason why they got so many bases over there and laboratories over there right now today. You have Chinese, Japanese, Korean,
Right.
every continent of every countries from that continent have bases over there. I mean, there's hundreds of them. Even the Rothschilds got their own
Mm,
base over there, and they're part of the British, and the British got their base over there. So that means what I was trying to say before I had to use the restroom real quick. That Atlanta is buried up under them ice, up under one of them big old icebergs,
mm,
3 and 4 miles down. But they have
right.
drilled down there, and they found other ways to get down there to start dealing with these icebergs.
Hmm.
And they found that there's people down there froze.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and they
Mm,
start, and they have bought out some of these beings.
hmm.
Um, I don't know how many. I don't know the name of them, but
Right.
they're very powerful, powerful beings. Um, and it's really strange on some of the information that people have been getting from people that's over there that are starting to defect now and letting
Right.
other people know, whether they told their wife, whether they told their partners or whatever. These are military people. These are people that are involved in these different governments that has been telling people, hey, that they need to start telling the people the truth.
Yeah,
And so
right, right. Sure,
and so
sure.
these people have been defecting, and a lot of them are getting killed and stuff, bro. And
Hmm.
because they're coming back saying, "Hey, this is mind blowing stuff down here in Agartha and
Right,
Shambhala and what's under
right.
these icebergs. You have pyramids up under these icebergs.
Mm.
You have cities and little towns and stuff up under these icebergs. They going in there taking some of the ruins or
Of course. That's what they do.
what we call booties,
Right.
and and they finding gold. They finding everything, man. They finding artifacts that's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years old, bro.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and so with the technology that we have today, um, they have different types of machines that can go down there, and they'll go down there and do what they call infrastructures and stuff like that. Man, they can hold some of that ice up to where one can fall and cave in on them, and they can go into some of them cabins and stuff and tunnels and stuff, and they can see what's going on, man.
Right, right, right,
Yeah, they can
right.
see what's going on, and
And I always hear about not to cut you off, but I always hear about Mount Shasta in California all the time when it talks about this Hollow Earth. What is that connection with Hollow Earth with Mount Shasta?
Mount Shasta, they have different cities that the humans have built
Mm.
only away from Shambhala and Agartha.
Right. Okay.
Because you have to remember, just as much space as we have here on top of the earth,
Hmm.
we have also in the center of the earth. They're not using Agartha, and Shambhala is not using all of that space. This is a said location
Right. Right. Of
where
course.
Agartha and Shambhala is. But the rest of that through Mount Shasta, going over to the Himalayas, they have different ways to go down to the center of the earth. I
Hmm.
mean, you have hundreds of different types of species and beings down there, and you have humans down there too that are allowed to live down there as long as they're not interfering with some of the other beings that are there.
Right. Right. Of course.
That have already established themselves hundreds of thousands of years ago through Mount Shasta, up there through California and stuff like that. And you also have ways up through there from the Grand Canyon over in
Hmm.
Arizona and all of that.
Right. Right. So
Yeah.
when you had us watching this video with the little brief video, the little 4 minute video,
Mm.
the shy Ute, when I saw the people, the shy Ute, one of them also they almost got that big head like the story of Yaku in the Nation of Islam. Has that any connection with that?
Well, there are different species of big heads.
Okay.
There's just not that one species that Yaku came from.
Mm,
It's almost like um, when you see a tiger, you have three or four, five or six different species of tigers.
right.
You
Okay.
have four or five different species of monkeys. You
Mm-hmm.
have different species of where the species of Yaku came from, who's Jacob in the Bible.
Mm,
And,
mm.
and you have to remember that um, I wish I can bring this up. I had it all lined up, man. It just kind of disappeared on me.
Yeah. Don't worry about
And
it, Mr. Johnny. It's all good.
okay, I wanted to show them some of the different species of where Yaku came from, and the
Mm-hmm.
cone heads, and
Right.
uh, the elephant trunk. Some of them are silver, some of them are tan.
Mm.
There's
Just like some of the
difference.
ones that were in the video that you wanted to go more into to that topic. Right.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
And you have to remember when they tell you so above, so below, you have Shambhala, which is below. We are the above. And then you have to go into the universe. That's also
Mm.
above
That's
us.
also above
So,
us. Right.
so you have different levels of what they mean by so above and so below.
Mm.
Because then
Mm. That's deep.
when you go down into the ocean,
That's below. That's even the deeper below.
yeah,
Hmm.
that's then you're talking about 30, 40, 50 miles down
Mm-hmm.
into the oceans and stuff, you can come into a different part of Shambhala and Agartha. But at
Mm.
the same time, remember, I showed you over on the right hand side when we was showing you the map of Agartha right here, right here. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yep.
when you go and look, they even got places where different beings stay 400 miles
Mm.
down right
Down.
here.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is 400 miles. It's for some weird reason, it's not going up and down, and it
It's all
should.
good. Yeah, we can see it
But
though.
anyway,
Yeah.
I had showed you it was another place, 400 miles, bro,
Mm. Mm.
down, and uh, and I found that uh, 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 very and very interesting.
Right. Right.
So, how deep is that down there? You know, hundreds of miles. For, we saw one 400 miles down.
Right.
It even go further than that.
Right. Right.
So,
Right.
when you dealing with the center of the earth, man, we don't know how deep it is, but we know Earth is 25,000 miles square miles that we live on as human beings, and the other 75 is ocean and forests.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. So we only occupy 25% of Earth
That's it.
as
25%.
our
That's right.
as our infrastructures and what we build at, what we live at. Then the
Mm-hmm.
rest is forests and mountain ranges and water.
Right.
Yeah.
You were telling me about those crystal cities around there. Can you give us a brief rundown about the crystal cities, a description about the crystal cities?
Well, crystals grow just like bushes and trees.
Mm-hmm.
You have you have huge crystals in the center of the earth. Some of these crystals is the size of a little town.
Mm.
Huge crystals. So they're able to, with their machinery and technology, is turn these crystals into homes and use these crystals by using electric and magnetic force fields, just like they did the pyramids, and use them in their own way of operating to live inside of these crystals. If these
Mm.
crystals have their own energy,
Right. Right.
they have
Mm.
their own energy, and um, they have crystals as small as a glass, and they have crystals 30 and 40 feet tall and
Damn.
30 feet wide, and they're solid. So when you start making homes and stuff out of these crystals and start connecting them to their natural sources, crystals have their natural sources. You can live inside of there and never need a light bulb,
Mm.
never need
Mm.
electricity because they have their own electrical magnetic properties.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
With their technology that our brothers and sisters have down there in Shambhala and Agartha, that they can, it's just like what they did with the pyramids. They used the pyramids for many reasons. And these pyramids, some of them are power plants.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these pyramids are just burial grounds. Some of these pyramids are um, connected to Syria A, B, and C to um, uh, to connect stargates, all kind of stuff,
Mm.
bro. Yeah,
Mm.
this trust me, a pyramid is doing something.
Right.
Now you have to study that particular pyramid to find out what it do,
What
because
they do. Right.
all pyramids do not do the same thing.
Mm.
It's just like how we put up our infrastructures on the electrical, and then you have the water, the dam, and stuff like that. And
Right.
now these pyramids had the same operational purposes.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
the same thing that we.
Because you know, because Crackademia will tell you that the pyramids was burial chambers, and we know better than that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
they
saying?
not. No, they ain't no damn barrel chamber. Them some bitches will light the whole city up.
Mm,
They were power
mm.
plants and shit like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Mm,
and they know that.
right.
Hmm.
Right. Right. Right.
They was they was converting um, water, soft water, hard water, and all of that kind of stuff um, um, with nuclear. I mean, it's so deep, bro. Like I said, I'm not going to pretend that I'm some type of quantum physics major or nothing like that or a scientist, but I do
Hmm.
know that water has different properties.
Right. Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
And it holds
And,
memory.
and not only that, it's conscious.
Yes. Oh yeah. Most definitely. Most
And they,
definitely. Most that they
and
better
they,
know it. They better
yeah,
know it.
and they use it to power as power plants. They use it. I mean, water can. If you know that much about water, you can make a laser beam out of it,
Most definitely. Well, they
and
use
then
it to
they
make electricity. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. So they made that. So there's a lot of things you can do. It heals and kills.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this was a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous live tonight, man. I really, really, really enjoyed this, Mr. Johnny. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You
But
went in, you dropped,
we have so much to cover uh, when it comes to Agartha and Shambhala and the different
Mhm.
wars and how the refugees got to Earth and how they're the reason why when they look on the telescopes why they don't see nobody in Venus because they live underground, they don't live on top.
Mm, mm,
So you Mercury, uranium. There's beings up there, and then there's live beings that live in the center of Mercury and the center of Mars and stuff. That's why we then you got people living on top of Mars. They even showed it with the Hubble telescope.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
Billy Carson have slides where they show you beings in cars and airplanes up there.
Wow.
Yeah. And I that those videos was so interesting when I said, "Well, look at this," and then they
Hmm.
show a whole ocean of water, man, and then you see different animals inside the water, like
Mm.
like whales and stuff like that, bro.
Looking
Yeah,
just like our whales here on our planet,
they
also.
man, they lie, man. They lie
Mm.
to us. They want to keep you confined in religion to where religion puts you in a physical arena to where that
Right.
your spirit can't move out to see the truth.
That's right. That's right.
And
That's right.
they capture your spirit with religion and this physiology of you that you are a human being with a spirit instead of you being a spirit that's in a human body because then
Mm.
that lets you know that you're not human, you're not a black man, you're not an American, you're not an Arab, you're not a Japanese, you are a damn spirit that came down to experience physiology.
Mm. 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 You drop a bomb on that shit. That's real.
Yeah.
That's
They
real.
don't want you to know that.
Hmm.
So they keep you confined in the illusion of the metrics.
Yeah, of course. Yes,
Hmm.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So,
sir. Yeah,
so
I definitely want to when you come back for the next one. I know we got another one. You know what I'm saying? I know you did a 5 part, but we might got to stretch it out because I'm gonna need that next one. We need to hear about them galactic wars. I know that's taking us a little bit away from the topic. I know you just wanted just to describe and tell us about Agartha and the underground cities tonight, which is cool. So next time, I mean, we really need that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe we can get the slides up next time so we can show you can show the species that came from the planets. We'll work on that and make sure we got that straight. But I mean,
Yeah.
you did an excellent job tonight, man. We definitely got some jewels. And you know, we say on
Mm,
this show, study and show yourself approved. Don't believe the shit we say, motherfucker. Look it up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
absolutely.
Yeah. But definitely, man, good to have you again, Mr. Johnny. You know, like I always say, go ahead and take the last word.
Well, when we get into the next subject on the galactic wars, you'll see that it's going to deal with a whole bunch of epigenetics and DNA and how all of these things was mixed up by Nidosan, one of the Anunnakis
Hmm.
of the son of Enel on the evil side. But that's what I want to explain, the galactic wars and how they went down and how it affects the DNA and the epigenetics of our ancestors and the human beings and how our ancestors were drowned in these illusions that the conquistadors, who are the children of the Anunnakis of on NL sign, especially Ninasan, who I call Allah, uh, will be able to start deciphering more of the, I would say, the downside on what got us in the predicament that we in. But what I want to say is study, and we have to start doing more studying because there's enough information on the last three or four that we did that
Right.
brothers and sisters can go into the holy tablets. They can go into um, the Aluma Alish. They can go into the Vanua Visa. They can go into a lot of these books and start kind of just, if you don't read the whole damn book, just kind of, even if you just go and look at some of the pictures, just start, yeah, just start doing more studying instead of worrying about what Jay Z and who Lil Wayne and this other rapper then killed somebody, and
Right. Right.
it's just a bunch of foolishness to distract us.
Distract you. Distractions. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
we need to study, and so my word to my brothers and sisters out there tonight, and I'm going to end it with that we are spirits inside of a physical body experiencing physiology. We have to understand that separation from a religious person who think that they are a body that has a spirit in them or a spirit of some god in them. Now you are God and goddesses. So
Yes, sir.
understand that this spirit that came down here to experience physiology in this body. You're not a Negro. You're not a black man. You're not an American. You're not an earthling. You are universal conscious.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
what
sir.
you are. You are universal conscious mind experiencing physiology. Have, and you be blessed, gods and goddesses.
Hey, we be blessed too, Mr. Johnny. We appreciate you. Hey, family, once again, it's underneath the city lights with Eddie Dynamite. Mr. Johnny, we appreciate you. I appreciate all y'all. Like, share, subscribe, show us some love. We appreciate y'all. Peace out.
Peace out.